Wednesday's first video. Welcome back to my views and news. Two main news stories was firstly, Amhara Regional President Yilkal Kefale was interviewed by a news outlet a few hours ago, and there he spoke on the peace agreement. Is Amhara Regional President sabotaging the peace agreement? Because what he said goes against the peace agreement. And 2 days ago, we heard some rumors that Eritrean government through Amhara regional leadership was trying to sabotage the agreement. We could not confirm the rumors. But what did the Amhara regional president say? Secondly, TPLF-backed institutions in Tigray are supporting the peace agreement. Religious conference was held in Tigray. What did the religious leaders say about the peace agreement? Details for you. Firstly, viewers, Amhara, Tigray regions are two main parties to the ongoing conflict, which started in November 2020, 2 years ago. And one of the reasons behind the start of war was disputed territory between Amhara and Tigray regions. There were other issues too, mainly the dispute was political between TPLF and Prosperity Party. Amhara leadership is part of Prosperity Party, but disputed territories have also been a cause of conflict between the two regions for decades. Amhara region is of this view that Raya, southern Tigray, and Volkait, western Tigray, are not Tigray. They're part of the Amhara region. They were forcibly annexed by TPLF when TPLF was in power in 1991 and before that. So the two zones should be part of the Amhara region, and we know that the two zones are under the control of Ethiopian Federal Forces and Amhara forces. Volkait has been under their control for almost 2 years. In the first round of fighting in November 2020, Amhara forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force, Eritrean military took control of Volkait, also called Western Tigray. Raya, southern Tigray, was taken by ENDF and Amhara forces in November 2020, but in July and August 2021, Tigray forces retook Raya. Alamata, Koram came under the TDF control. But then last month, Amhara forces and Ethiopian National Defense Force retook Raya too. Now, most of Raya is under the control of Amhara forces and Ethiopian National Defense Force. What does the agreement say about these disputed territories, and what did Amhara regional president say? The agreement clearly states that talks will be held about disputes, political disputed territories, and in the talks, decision will be made. So final decision will be made after the talks. And that is what PM Abiy said as well, I think 3 to 4 days ago, when he spoke about the establishment of transitional government in Tigray, conducting of election. He said that disputed territories will be talked on, and then decision will be made through dialogue. It means that the peace agreement is not giving any final opinion about Raya and Volkait. What did Yilkal Kefale, Amhara president, say in his interview last night? He was interviewed on EMS. Ethiopian media services, which was previously ESAT. From ESAT, it turned into it split from ESAT, and and the journalists of ESAT started a new YouTube channel. They were planning to start a satellite channel as well. So EMS journalists talked to Yilkal Kefale. Amhara President said, there is no mention of Volkayet and Raya in the peace agreement. Raya and Volkayet are non-negotiable. There won't be any talks on the status of Raya and Volkayet, and status will remain the same. Same means that Amhara forces ENDF will remain in control of Raya and Volkayet. I personally think that these comments made by Amhara regional presidents could sabotage the peace agreement. Because the peace agreement clearly stipulates that talks will be held about disputed territories. Amhara president said no talks. The two zones are part of the Amhara region. One of the sticking points in talks in the past mostly has been Western Tigray, Volkayet. Now Raya is also one of the sticking points. Though these days talks are mainly focused on disarmament, talks in Kenya and Nairobi are mainly focusing on disarmament of Tigray fighters. But after that, talks will be held definitely about Raya and Volkayet. Amhara regional president has taken a very strong position about the two zones, which could sabotage the peace agreement. Can we say that Eritrea is behind this move from the Amharian? We cannot say that because we don't have any solid information, though Amhara region and Eritrea have developed close ties lately in recent months, especially after the start of conflict in northern Ethiopia. Secondly, viewers, Tigray religious institutions held a press conference, a meeting about the peace agreement. Religious leaders from Muslim community, from Christian community, and from other communities held a joint meeting. The meeting was about the peace agreement signed in Pretoria on Wednesday. And these religious leaders unanimously backed the peace agreement. They demanded that peace agreement it must be implemented immediately. They showed their support for the peace agreement. I think TPLF-backed institutions are trying to show their support for the peace agreement, and for TPLF as well. The religious leaders appreciated efforts which led to the signing of the peace agreement. TPLF is trying to create internal unity in Tigray by launching regional government-backed institutions like the religious institution. Purpose is to send a message that Tigray is united, Tigray regional government, Tigray institutions are united in respecting the ceasefire, the peace agreement. Implementation has not started so far. No arrival of any aid convoys in Tigray so far. No restoration of electricity, banking, telecom services in areas under the control of Tigray Defense Force. Yes, some aid deliveries have been made to the areas under ENDF control like Shire, like Alamata. Electricity is stored in Alamata, in Koram, but no aid has entered so far Mekele or other areas under the control of Tigray forces. So that is why implementation of the peace agreement has not started so far. I think that Ethiopian federal government first of all wants to implement the first point of the agreement, and that is disarmament. Talks, as I said earlier in a video a few hours ago, talks were underway in Nairobi, Kenya, without any tangible progress. But talks could take some time to be successful because disarmament is one of the key points in this peace agreement. So, if the first point is agreed, disarmament of Tigray fighters, you will see rapid progress after that. So far, implementation of the peace agreement has not started. We are hearing some news about Tigray fighters surrendering their weapons, trying to confirm, then we'll share with you. Only concern about this peace agreement is the questions, the position taken by Amhara President last night. Thank you for watching.